So this is definitely one of the strangest times to be a Chainsaw Man fan, which is saying a lot because we've been through some crazy arcs in the past. Whether it was Kobeni's Dance Dance Revolution tournament arc, where she soloed Goku with her domain expansion and said, "Nah, I dance." Okay, that might have been a dream. Or Denji using Beam as his shark steed, which lives rent-free in my head, and I swear I think about this at least 5 times a day, cause it was just way too awesome. But the most recent events in Chainsaw Man have taken absurdity to a totally new level, and it's literally unheard of. That's right, unlike the residents of Chainsaw Man, you actually have to bear witness and hear my cringe. And this is just what happens when you make a binding contract with the cringe devil. But this is undeniably one of the darkest parts in Chainsaw Man Part 2, and although it was a relatively short chapter, there are some massive game-changing revelations that we need to break down, including the motivations of public safety, hearing aids, and cell phones becoming momentarily obsolete, and the introduction of a new devil that many are speculating is one of the rare primal devils. But let's play it by ear and start at the beginning. After the Chainsaw Devil devoured the Ear Devil, the concepts of ears and hearing have been eradicated from history. If you have phone calls to attend to, you're basically screwed. Big-eared animals like elephants are completely deformed, and any and all forms of communication is just thrown out the window. You even have this pretty funny panel where one of the public safety agents is trying to see if they actually can't hear Jack. And she's like, "Okay, raise your hands if you know the word ear." And then there's just deafening silence. And the girl's like, "I bet we can cook." It just felt so random and wacky, but this is the reason why I love Chainsaw Man, because we get out-of-pocket moments like this that just work for the story. But the most frightening aspect about all of this is the fact that the masses barely even notice the differences. They're just carrying on with their daily lives like everything is fine. And after digesting this chapter, unlike Chainsaw Man, as we'll come to see, I've come to the conclusion that I no longer think that public safety is nearly as dumb as I initially thought that they were. It's actually kind of clear that these plots that were manifesting were orchestrations of their own design to maybe even test the extents of Chainsaw Man's erasure ability, with the motivation that if they can understand it, if they know the strengths and limitations, they can harness the power for themselves and possibly control it. And when you look at the endgame, the Nostradamus prophecy that predicts an upcoming apocalypse, it makes even more sense. Public safety and FAMI have the same goals that they're trying to achieve. They want to save humanity from a devil revolution. And regardless how you look at it, Denji or Chainsaw Man is the key to success. The Chainsaw Devil is really the only legitimate counter that they have at their disposal. But just because he's the only weapon they have in their arsenal doesn't mean that using that weapon is an actual viable solution. If left unchecked, that same weapon could be pointed against them and just blast humanity right in the face. So they needed to test its suitability and witness for themselves how Vegeta's devil erasure could be utilized as a strategy moving forward. Now this is where, as I usually do, start to feel a lot of pity for Denji when a new Chainsaw Man chapter comes out. Because still after all this time, no one is looking at him as a person, but as a tool that can be used. So while public safety thinks that they can control the devil inside of him, I think the actual human form of Denji will be more rebellious and independent than before. He's no longer that same pet that will just roll over to someone's instruction. He has his own thoughts and feelings and desires, and he will not submit to just anyone. But I do see some hope at the end of that tunnel. If public safety is aiming to align themselves with Denji, regardless how they do it, the possibility of Denji coming back from his villain arc is starting to seem a lot more feasible. Now, we also got a throwback to an exceptionally raw and graphic public safety activity that was, well, scattered across part 1. I'll never forget when the operation to eliminate Makima first took place, and then you have all these agents slit their throats to summon the power of the Hell Devil to contest her, only to get blitzed by Chainsaw Man a short while later. But the parallels are here, and it's being actively established that Denji is being treated as a Makima level threat, a global level disaster, covered in chainsaws and mixed with blood and gore. And just as the same purpose before was to summon the power of the Hell Devil, this instant is much of the same, as the public safety officers sacrifice parts of themselves to make a contract with a totally new devil straight out of hell. Now off the bat, with its crazy, disgusting appearance and its ability to extend its power right out of hell, this is not your average run-of-the-mill tomato coffee type devil. And nope, we're undeniably witnessing one of the primal fear devils. Now to what that primal fear is, well, still a mystery, but I assume we'll find out in the next coming chapters. But just judging off what it can do and the other themes present in the Chainsaw Man story, we can make some pretty solid, educated guesses. One theory is that this new primal fear is the Vanity Devil, where Fujimoto is taking clear inspiration from the 7 deadly sins, with pride being Pochita, envy being the Vanity Devil, wrath as the Falling Devil, and sloth as the Darkness Devil. This would also mean that Fami is definitely gluttony, which doesn't take a genius to figure that out, and with the reintroduction of Yoshida into this chapter, he could also play into this faction. We don't know what type of contract he made to have tentacle-like powers to use at will, but many believe that the source of this power is a primal fear, and with this train of thought chugging along, he represents lust. But one of my favorite ideas that I saw on the Chainsaw Man Reddit pertains to this devil being the primal fear of self-reflection, ergo the Mirror Devil. The overall aesthetic and design of this devil showcase his head split in half, a symbol of how someone feels after self-reflection, as if you're tearing yourself apart. The word hit is drawn in blood onto 3 separate mirrors, ergo the mirror or one's reflection is the medium in order to organize this contract and contact this devil. Now, while other powerful devils have used doors in order to enter the human world, this one smashes a mirror in order to attack Pochita. The devil is even looking through the mirror, and that's how they're able to witness Yoshida clutch up with the assist at the end. And as the men are making the contract, it seems like they're picturing Pochita while specifying where exactly they want the devil to strike. Now, this is all well and good, but how is self-reflection a primal fear? Well, it's actually incredibly common to be frightened by your own reflecting, looking inside and judging yourself. Most people never self-reflect because they don't want to confront the various truths about themselves, and they envy what others have. So this could also link to the vanity point I brought up earlier. And now what's also very interesting is that the devil's design has many homages to birth and rebirth as a metaphor for the resolution someone faces after self-reflection. And in general, I would say that these are all pretty good ideas, but ultimately it will be up to Fujimoto to cook, so we'll have to wait and see. But the high point of this chapter is definitely at the end, where Yoshida pulls up with the tentacle Heimlich and forces Pochita to vomit out an indigested ear devil that's barely alive. So this is inevitably leading to the return of the ear propaganda as devil erasure is now negated. And this was something that I danced around throughout this video, but seeing this in full force is really crazy because of what it means moving forward and the impact it could have on the Chainsaw Man verse. But also look at this boy. This elephant got his ears back, and that show of triumph made me irrationally happy. But it just goes to show that in the moment, devil erasure isn't an end-all be-all. It can be stopped, and while there might be a time limit or something like that, possibly a window of opportunity before they're fully digested, even learning that these constraints exist is a massive victory for public safety. I know some people were unhappy with this turn of events, saying that it removes the stakes from Chainsaw Man, as if the story isn't traumatizing enough already. But we gotta be a bit realistic. How absurd would it be if for the rest of Chainsaw Man, no one had ears anymore? Way too many problems would arise, and it's just way too ridiculous. I actually think that this was the right direction, and it opens up a solid can of worms by highlighting Pochita's limitations. So I'm very interested to see where things go from here. If we'll see other devils previously erased from history make a return, or the opposite, if we'll see the disappearance of other devil concepts. But let me know your thoughts on this chapter. What did you like or dislike, and what would you like to see moving forward? There's no break next week, so that means back-to-back head-blasting trauma. But remember to like and subscribe. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next video.